Hello and welcome. This is our first video in this series. Starting out simple, just to get started. That's exactly what you should be doing. Don't try to have everything perfect and in line. Okay, wait until I have this much money or wait till I have this. No, like, what are you doing? Just get started with learning. It's a journey. The journey of the learning that you need for finance never ends. You will never reach a point where you say, you know what, I know everything. I know exactly what all the things there is to know. But one thing that will be reoccurring through this that I can tell you is that if you lack knowledge, that is the gate. The knowledge that you lack is the gate to the emotions that you will have. So if you don't know why you did something, guess what happens? As soon as something happens, gate opens up, you get all emotional. The emotional behavior is a reflection of the lack of knowing why you're doing something. Most people who end up in very bad situations, it's because they followed someone into something and they can't follow them out. They don't know how. So they're stuck in a situation they don't understand why they got into. A lot of this that we're going to go through is going to be education on how to get yourself into a position that you understand why you're in. A lot of doing your own research, having your own knowledge. You will also focus on things like unlearning a lot of the things that were taught in school traditionally, or people are generally taught in homes. There's a reason those things don't work. What I had to do personally is spend a lot of time reading books and learning from people who were already successful to realize, wow, a lot of the things that I thought were true are not true. They're ridiculous. And some of those things are going to be emotional ways people think about money. Some of those things are just going to be um, logic towards how to handle a situation. Like someone told me this was good, but actually it's not good. This other thing is better. Also, we're going to cover that, guess what? You're going to make good and bad decisions. The really important thing here is to realize that you will make mistakes. That's totally cool. You should make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're not learning. You're not taking the risk. And if you're taking huge risks, it's also ridiculous. You're learning. Take tiny risks. Take tiny risks, learn, evaluate. So, one of the things that you should be doing through this whole process is when you make a decision, either write down, record in some manner why you made this decision. Figure out, okay, I thought this is a good idea. This is why I did this. That way, afterwards, if it works out or doesn't work out, you can evaluate whether or not it worked out for something that had nothing to do with your original reason, which you shouldn't give yourself credit for, exactly the reason that you said, or something kind of close to what you said. And then the next part is, okay, it went completely wrong. What did I do to fix it or not fix it? So that gets into risk management that we'll get into much later, where you know, hey, my initial way of thinking about this, I've discovered now I have enough information to realize it's really stupid. How do I get myself out of this? I think that is going to be all for the first video, just about start of the journey. So you're going to be getting some education, you're going to get some experience with your emotions, you're going to be getting some hands-on experience. This isn't going to be like 500 videos about finance terms so that you can learn different ways to say things that you probably already have a different way to say. Yes, a lot of the terms that you hear on financial news, they are literally just coming up with a different word to say the exact same word that already exists in the English language so that you feel like they're smart even though they just are using a different word that was completely unnecessary. Anyways, that's it for this video. The next video, we're going to do what you should start off with, which is making an account. That can be either a simulated account or a real account where you put in something that's really small for you, really educational. Whatever you put in, expect that you will lose all of it because you have no clue what you're doing. That's the point of this. This video is exactly like I told you. It's all about getting started learning. How are you going to learn? You're going to learn by doing. And guess what? In the beginning, your doing is not going to really have a lot of understanding. That's okay. Start really small or start with a simulation account. None of this that I am showing you is going to be financial advice through any of these videos. I am not telling you what to do. I'm teaching you how to make your own decisions, how to actually work through these problems and learn and become good at doing this yourself. I personally have been doing this for the last 8 years now. I hope that I can help a bunch of other people learn how to do investing. So one of the first options is cryptocurrency. This option is kind of interesting because you're able to get higher returns than with some other things because of a thing called volatility. We're not even going to get into that today, but we will get into it later. And all of it is about price movement. One thing that you need to do, if you start with $1, it's going to take you a really long time, if you're only making like a cent a year, to get to like $100. So you need to be able to grow it. You are not at a stage, if you're just starting to learn how to invest, to be looking at wealth preservation strategies. Yes, some people will talk about these strategies, but they make no sense if you have no money. What are you preserving? So you got Binance and Binance US. Pick which is applicable. If you're not in the US, then use Binance. If you are in the US, use Binance US. Some other people can't use either. If you're in Canada, for example, then you can use Coinbase. All three of these options will give you access to cryptocurrency. Then your next option is stocks. One of the options for that is going to be Robinhood, Moomoo, and another option is a simulation account using Investopedia, and another option is TradingView. You can have a TradingView simulation account. You are going to need to make a TradingView account later on in the course as I show you more things. This tool is extremely important, but whether or not you use it for a simulator is up to you. You may also have the option of doing kind of both at the same time. So you could make an account that has a little bit of what you're doing, practicing, buying something, and then at the same time, you have a simulation account. Or maybe you're doing a little bit more because you're just tinkering. That's totally good. I started personally with multiple different simulation accounts, simulations with bank brokerages, simulation accounts of random websites, online simulation accounts at different ages. And like I said, 8 years ago is when I got into it seriously. But hey, I had many simulation accounts before that. I had even real accounts before that, but never really focused in on it. I just kind of tinkered and learned a few things. So I highly recommend taking this seriously and actually progressively learning a little bit each day. It is kind of the hope that you will make money in your career, whether you run a business or you work a job or whatever you're doing. You're going to want to know once you make that money how to manage it. You don't want to just work really hard, save some of the money, and then flush it down the toilet. That's going to be no good for you. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is by gaining finance knowledge and not trusting some salesperson to tell you how to make money who doesn't manage their own money. That's one of the scariest situations that I've seen. I see a lot of people who don't know how to manage their own money, who effectively have sales roles. They're just selling you their commission. Please don't do that. If you're going to go the investment advisor route and you're going to have someone do all the things for you, make sure that your incentives and their incentives align, that they're not just making commissions off you, that they are incentivized to make good decisions for you. If you know a little bit about asset classes, you will see that we didn't cover a bunch of assets. Like we didn't cover metals, we didn't cover like all sorts of other commodities. We didn't cover housing, we didn't cover bonds, etc. Most of these things are not relevant. When you have a small amount of capital and you're trying to grow it, then you're not trying to get a 4% bond return. You are going to be there for the rest of your life trying to do that. Some of these things are more about short-term capital strategies, or also about wealth preservation, depending on the specific one that you're talking about. We will get into that as this progresses. I would highly suggest you don't try to do everything on your first day. Don't try to do stocks and crypto and everything together. I do a mix of those things. Years later down the road, if I had tried starting that way, it would have been a disaster. You need to actually get good at something so that you're an expert at something. My first thing was cryptocurrency. I feel confident saying that that is something that I really understand. And I am able to take statistical things that I learned from trading in cryptocurrency and apply that to other markets for very specific opportunities, and also as a beginning to the learning journey there. And don't act like I'm an expert in anything other than cryptocurrency. That is it. Please make an account so that you can get started. If you don't make an account, then I don't know what you're doing, because you're basically just watching these videos and not actually actively learning. So that's not helpful. Do yourself a favor, make an account. Like I said, some of those accounts are simulation accounts, so it's not even like you need to pay anything. They're free. They don't require any money. I literally did it, one of those, when I was a teenager. So you don't even need to be an adult to make one of the simulation accounts. And the sooner you start learning, the more time you have to learn. We'll get into why that really matters in future videos. All right, it's already been long enough. Thank you very much for watching. Congratulations on making your very first brokerage account. If that applies to you, congrats. That is a substantial step in your life. Down in the comments below, I will add links. I have some referral links for some of these sites. If you don't have an account with one of these and you're going to make that account, if you could please use those links, that would be greatly appreciated. If not, hey, thanks for watching the video. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day. Bye-bye.